How We Learned to Rise by the Reverend Dr. Lori Walke. After Jesus died, he began appearing to his friends. This, of course, usually happened when a group of them got together to talk about him, retelling his jokes and remembering what Jesus taught them. On this particular day, a rather large crowd of his friends had gathered. And what do you know? Jesus showed up too. He began to teach them, saying, "Resist, pray for your enemies, turn the other cheek, go the extra mile. And of course, love one another as I have loved you." When he had said all this, a voice from the heavens boomed, "Ascend!" And so he did. He spread out his arms, looked up to heaven with a smile, and slowly began to rise. The disciples watched, stunned, and suddenly Mary, realizing what was happening, gave a shout, backed up to get a running start, and leapt up to grab Jesus' ankle. "I'm coming too," she cried. John, seeing what was happening, jumped up and grabbed Jesus' other ankle. And Jesus, slightly concerned at what was happening, stopped and looked down at them and then back up to heaven and asked, "God, what do I do?" And God said, "Ascend!" And so, all together, holding on to one another, lifting each other up, they all began to rise. Now the other disciples, seeing Mary and John rising with Jesus, they wanted to go too. So suddenly, all of Jesus' friends are jumping and grabbing onto their ankles, and Mary and John and Jesus reached out to pull them up until there was a small pyramid of people swinging from each other in the sky. And a little alarmed, Jesus asked again, "What do I do, God?" And again the voice from heaven boomed, "Ascend!" And all together, holding on to one another, lifting each other up, they all began to rise. Then people from all over, folks who had seen Jesus' miracles or heard him preach, or people who had seen the friends of Jesus feed the hungry and heal the sick, they began to jump up and grab onto the lowermost disciples, and slowly, together, holding on to one another, lifting each other up, they all began to rise. But a little girl, way at the bottom, shouted, "Stop! Wait! I want to bring my dog!" And Jesus, way up at the top, yells back down, "Try to hurry! I don't know how this thing works!" So the little girl, still scanning the horizon, reached out and grabbed a tree, and the branch held on tight. Everyone kept rising, and the tree began to rise too, and it looked like the tree would be uprooted. But the tree curled its toes and held on tight to the earth, and the earth started to rise too. But it reached out to the sea, and the sea grabbed hold with its waves and held on tight, and no one let go. And slowly, all together, holding on to one another, lifting each other up, the whole world was drawn closer to God. I don't know if that's exactly how it happened, but I know that story is true.